The community has spoken. We heard you loud and clear, so today we'll compare Solana and Fantom, exploring how they both work, their potential, and of course, if they are good investments. So take a seat, relax, and enjoy. First of all, both Fantom and Solana are infrastructure networks, also known as Layer 1, and they follow pretty much the same plan. They want to get as close as possible to solving the blockchain trilemma, at first in theory, and then in practice, once everything goes according to plan with optimal parameters and no downtime. Try to attract experienced dev teams. The end goal is creating a DeFi ecosystem that's highly attractive to users. Solana is a proof-of-stake network compatible with smart contracts, and it was created in 2017. Often, there is some confusion when it comes to Solana proof of stake and proof of history. So I'll try to explain what both are in as few words as possible. In proof of stake, validating nodes, the ones helping the entire network work in a more or less decentralized way, must take a certain amount of coins. So, in the case of Solana and FTM for Fantom, in order to have the right to validate and process the transactions registered on the network's blocks. Proof of history is a method created by Solana by which there is proof that transactions are processed by the correct node and sequences are respected. Basically, it's a system by which time is divided into slots and the leader is chosen to produce network blocks before each slot. By this proof-of-stake variation, Solana can reach, in theory, 65,000 transactions per second. Currently, it has about 2,000 and 5,000 transactions per second. Fantom uses a consensus mechanism called lattices, which is also a proof-of-stake variation by which nodes don't have to send network blocks among themselves, which means that the blockchain can be modified easier so the entire transaction process is accelerated. Currently, Fantom reaches, on average, 15 to 20 transactions per second with a block time of less than 1 second. Of course, these numbers don't represent the limit of the network, as in theory, it could reach 10,000 transactions per second. When it comes to active addresses for Solana, we couldn't find an exact number for it this year, but some time ago it surpassed 2 million. Fantom experienced a huge growth between August and now, reaching 2 million unique addresses, not to be confused with active addresses. The difference between these two is kind of huge, but that has to be expected since Solana is a more mature network. Despite that, Fantom did manage to grow quite a lot in recent months. Solana has a DeFi ecosystem based mostly on platforms that only exist within this network. Here, we can find projects from all DeFi areas with already existing communities such as Serum, Radium, or Saber in the DEX's corner. Just want to mention the lending and borrowing protocols such as Apricot Finance, Solana and Fantom, but also derivatives protocols and many more. On top of this, Solana has an NFT ecosystem that's pretty well developed. Fantom managed to attract plenty of projects that exist on other chains, meaning they already have an existing community such as Yearn Finance, Curve, SushiSwap, Beefy Finance, and Abracadabra. The Fantom ecosystem also enjoyed a good APR, meaning it attracted new users, so the TVL increased again. So far, it's obvious that Solana is the more developed and more mature network, no matter how we look at it. But I must confess, I appreciate the approach that the team behind Fantom has taken. Attracting projects that work very well on other networks and that have already established communities is a great strategy, and we can see that from its TVL in the number of unique addresses and the positive sentiment surrounding it for a couple of months. But what I don't like in Fantom compared to Solana is the number of validating nodes. Fantom has 58 nodes compared to 1,500 on Solana, so it's clear which of these networks is more decentralized. At the same time, Solana has 19 nodes that control over 33% of the staking quantity, so in theory, they can control the network together if they decide to do so. Huge con. Regarding the utility, there aren't too many differences, and that tends to be the case with infrastructure networks where coins are used in the consensus process for payments and fees, and sometimes for governance. Now, we've reached the most difficult part of this video, trying to draw a conclusion. Both projects have their pros and cons, but they are also among the most popular infrastructure projects. Since it is very likely that both Fantom and Solana will remain among the top layer 1 networks in the years to come, the optimal investment for me is DCA for both. I try to purchase both FTM and SOL whenever there's a deep, and in such cases, I don't think we should pick a winner and stick with it. Instead, we should try to diversify and choose more projects that still look good following a careful analysis. Neither Fantom nor Solana are perfect networks, but then again, there is no perfect network for now, so this is not relevant. If I'd have to choose to invest in only one of them, it would be a close call, but I'd stick with Fantom. I like how the DeFi ecosystem is thought out, how many solid projects they've managed to attract from Ethereum in a short amount of time, and it has a very good TVL. The potential for a huge price increase is more likely in the case of Fantom, but investing in both is a good idea. Sol comes with a lower risk and a smaller potential for growth, while FTM comes with a bigger risk but with a larger potential for growth. I hope we were able to help you understand both projects and get a general idea over Layer 1 networks. This is all for today. Take care and see you soon.